Welcome to the Daily Deuce. I'm Gary Graves from just outside Louisville, Kentucky, and in Maryland, the land of pleasant living, where I hope spring has sprung. John Webster, how you doing, my longtime friend?
Man, I'm doing real good, Gary. Hope everybody's doing well. It's a beautiful day here in Maryland. Gary, guess what the temperature is going to be today?
77 degrees.
91 degrees.
Oh,
Man,
woo! Hey, man,
do you know how happy I am right now?
like a pig in slop
In Salisbury.
in Salisbury.
I'm loving every minute of it, man. Loving every minute of it. Another great week in sports. Can't wait to get into some of this stuff that's going on. We're going to start with something that's really dear to my heart, the Baltimore Orioles.
Hmm.
Had the pleasure of seeing them Sunday. They defeated, I forgot already who they beat Sunday. Who they beat Sunday?
How many beers
Doggone.
did you have Sunday?
You know I don't drink, Gary. You know I
I
don't
know.
drink.
Well, how many
Uh,
root beers did you have Sunday?
I had a few. I had a few waters and a few ginger ales. Um, I honestly can't remember who they played Sunday. Let me look it up real quick. Um,
You were having so much fun. You didn't even look. You were looking at your Orioles and not the opposition, which I
yeah,
understand.
I mean, yeah, out there hanging out with JR and Dante, having a great time.
Oh man, watching with your
Um,
sons, that's even better.
Let me see who they. San Francisco Giants. They beat the San Francisco
Oh yeah,
Giants
that's right.
60,
That's right.
62. I can't believe I forgot that. Because I watched them beat them Saturday 62. So, great time at the ballpark. Great time. Um, then they won again last night. Last night they beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 9-7. They were losing 7-1. Came back from six down, hit a grand slam. Jeremiah Jackson hit a grand slam. Then he hit a solo. Pete Alonso hit one last night as well, a two-run homer to put him ahead for good. They are 9-7 right now, Gary, and I'm happy that they're 9-7. About a week ago, they were going through a losing streak against the Pittsburgh Pirates, but losing to the Pirates goes all the way back to the '70s, and that's all I'll say about that. And we'll keep moving.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
It's gotten in their heads.
yeah,
Losing
yeah.
twice in
So
the '70s to the Pirates in the
yeah,
World Series, and you know,
yeah.
the only thing that's helped me get through that, John, is remembering that those were two great Pirates teams. One with Roberto Clemente and Willie Stargell, and then the second one with Willie Stargell and Kent Tekulve
Dave Parker.
and Dave. Oh, that's right, Hall of Famer Dave Parker, and a name that I'm going to say in memoriam, Phil the Pepper Pot Garner,
Yeah,
who
unfortunately, he
passed.
passed away this weekend. But
Yeah, yeah.
you
I
you
could
you
appreciate how good they were, man. So,
you can appreciate it. I don't want to elaborate on it because
all
that
right.
that Gary, this
Hmm.
is irony for that. This is irony for the Pittsburgh Orioles series.
Hmm.
Lost in seven games both times. Lost the
Hmm.
seventh game both times at home.
Hmm.
That's enough. That's enough. So let's come
Did they
on back.
lead? Did they lead 3-1 in 71 too? I can't really remember.
No, they were up 3-2 in 71. They were up 3-1 in 79.
Yeah, because I'm trying to look that up in here now. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Wow.
Yeah. But
Interesting stat from 79 that I saw was I think it was like Eddie Murray went something like 1 for 20, 1 for 24 or something. Or no, I think they're no, I'm sorry. The heart of their order went something like 1 for 24 with the final two games after being up 3-1.
yeah, it was rough. The
Yeah.
final the final three games they pitched McGregor, Palmer, and Flanagan and couldn't get a win. So
That, yeah. Well, I'm gonna help you move on from that one. Because
But
yeah.
fast forward to what's going on now. They are having injuries just like they had last year. The difference is this year they seem to have more depth. They are also
Mhm.
having
I would agree with that.
they're having strange injuries. Ryan Mountcastle hits a double, rounds first base, tumbles and falls down, and breaks his foot. So he's out for like 60 days.
Yeah.
Tyler O'Neill had flu-like conditions, fainted, hit his head, and now he's on the 10-day concussion protocol. So
Wow.
Adley Rushman, sore ankle. Zach Eflin goes to pitch. He's dominating, looking like Cy Young. He messes his elbow up. He has Tommy John surgery. He's gone for the season.
Wow.
He pitched
Okay.
4 and 1/3 inning and blew his elbow out.
Now, John, that might be probably the wildest, weirdest injury I've heard. I mean, one, you know, rounding a base and breaking your foot. I mean, look, it happens to us weekend warriors. Weird stuff like that. But I don't know. That's the thing about baseball, and that's the thing sometimes about foot and ankle injuries. And from things I study, it's just like you could tear your Achilles tendon just by doing nothing, without contact. You could
Yeah.
tear an ACL without contact.
And then you have Jackson Holiday. He has a broken bone in his hand. He's still out. Jordan Westberg has an elbow problem. If he was a pitcher, he'd be done for the season. They're trying to hope he can come back. Not sure.
Mhm.
Felix Bautista had Tommy John surgery. Maybe he comes back later on this season. Maybe he doesn't.
When did he have that surgery?
Last season, he messed his elbow up.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay. Man, I thought he had come back from that one. I
He
thought that
did.
one went.
He did, and then he got hurt again. So you have that going on. Who else is out injured right now? But here's the thing with the injuries. Let's talk about the pleasant surprises.
Okay.
Taylor Ward signed him from the Angels. I think came from the Angels. He's playing great in left field. He's him and Gunnar are going 1 and 2 as far as who's leading off and who's batting second. He hasn't even hit his power yet. He's hitting a lot of doubles. Yeah, he's really doing well. He had a misplay on a ball in left field the first game of the season, but he's worked hard and comes out early for practice before the games. He's doing well. Blaze Alexander playing extremely well. That guy can play second. He can play short. He can play third. I don't know that he probably can play the outfield. So he can play almost any position. He is a great utility fielder. Um, Sammy Basayo, he's now he has to catch every day right now with Adley Rushman being out. He hit a home run Sunday when we were at the game. I think he's going to round into shape. The one I feel really bad for, but also I think things are playing out for him again. I feel bad for Kobe Mayo. Kobe Mayo's fielding is really good this year. He's doing a very good job. His batting, he's still struggling. He's hitting 154. Well, the break for him in the beginning of the season was Westberg getting hurt, so that meant he played third. Well, now with Westberg coming back, what you're going to do with Mayo. Now with Mountcastle getting hurt, you can move Mayo over to first base, and he can play some first sometimes. So, he's a guy. Oh, and I haven't even mentioned Heston Kjerstad.
Oh yeah.
Hadn't played this season. So they got some injuries. They pitched Dean Kramer last night. I told Dante, Dean Kramer pitched pretty much the way I would expect him to pitch in April. He gets better as the season goes on. When it gets warmer, he starts pitching better. He got 9 strikeouts last night, but he did give up 3 taters. Gave up 3 home runs last night. So, but that you know, I saw Cade Povich pitch Sunday, and man, that kid had a great game. It was his birthday. He went six and a third, I think. Yeah, six and a third. Did a great job. They sent him back down so they could bring Kramer up to pitch last night. I'm assuming they're going to bring Povich back up because they're going to need somebody to pitch on Saturday. I think they're playing Cleveland on Saturday. So we'll see how that works out. Still early,
Hmm.
but after 14 games, 16 games, they're there, Gary, and there's still a lot more to go. 16 was it? You play
Yeah.
162, so you got
Yep.
146 more to go.
Yep. One
Yeah.
tenth of a season.
Yeah. So, I think you get a better look at the 40, but this is a good start to the season.
Well, John, I look at the standings and I see what four teams tied for first in the powerful. No, I'm sorry, three teams tied for first at in the NL East. I mean, I'm sorry, AL East. Tampa. Well, make that two teams because of course I don't have my reading glasses on. Yep, Tampa Bay, 8-7, a game back. Really, there's only three games separating the top two teams, the Yankees and the Orioles, from the Boston Red Sox. But again, that's an indicator of just how strong that division is that I can see. Because remember, Toronto went to the World Series last year. Yankees, went to the playoffs. Um, Tampa Bay was competitive. It wouldn't surprise me if this order changed at any point. I'm glad the Orioles are in it because usually those first 16 to 20, 25 games are pretty much an indicator of how they'll play. If they can get through this despite those freak injuries that you described, I think again, that depth matters, and of course, having depth that stays healthy for the next guys up, that's important for the Orioles right now. Would you agree?
I agree, man. The American League East is rough. Um, One of the things that's going on in the American League East right now, Toronto's having a lot of injuries.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
they've lost like three or four pitchers. Santander is out. That's rough. Also, I'm not their GM. I'm nobody's GM. But I think letting Dante Bichette get away, I think that's going
Mhm.
to also hurt them. I think Bichette with Vlad Guerrero Jr., they were a good one-two punch. And
Mhm.
now with that being the way it is, we'll just see how that plays out for them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. John, before we move on, last night I think it was home run derby wherever you looked in Major League Baseball last night.
Hmm. Hmm.
Nine players hit multiple home runs, and in the Bronx, between Aaron Judge and Mike Trout, Mike Trout looked like old Mike Trout last night. Did you see anything of that game?
I saw the highlights on was it Major League Baseball Network,
Yeah,
and it was an interesting. Was 11-10
yeah,
Yankees on a
yeah,
on a wild pitch or a pass ball.
yeah. Walk off.
So
Yeah, oh,
yeah,
yeah, or
so
pass ball.
it's good to see Trout hitting like that. He's had more than his share of injuries, Gary. More
Hmm.
than his share of injuries, man. And we'll see how that plays out for him this season. They're over there in that American League West. The Astros are struggling right now. Seattle's starting to try to find their groove right now. So we'll see. I tell you what I did Saturday, and I did not realize who I was watching. I was watching the game.
Hmm.
Team had on all red uniforms and had a C on the front. And I thought I was watching the Cleveland Guardians. No, I was watching the Cincinnati Reds in their City Connect uniforms. And I can't remember who they were playing. They had gone up
Oh,
5-0, ended up winning 7-3.
yeah, they had
Uh,
the Dodgers, I think, this past weekend.
yeah, so it was interesting to watch them in their City Connect red.
Yeah, I'm those whole City Connect uniforms. It really depends on the team. Like I like the Orioles City Connect. I think those are all black, right?
They got new ones this year.
Oh,
It's like a
okay.
cream color with orange and it's trimmed in green. The reason they use the
Hmm.
green trim, all the seats and everything around Camden Yards are green.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, as are the walls, I guess, in there too. So, okay. I get that. I didn't mind the all black and that, I'm not a big monochrome fan when it comes to uniforms, mainly thanks to the NFL. But like the Nationals last year had kind of like a sky blue one with DC and had a combination of like the city, street map
Mhm.
and some of the cherry blossoms on there. Um I ended up getting one of those jerseys as a gift, and I I really like it. That's
Mm.
one that I feel like, kind of resonates in between, my red one with the curly white W, and I've got like old jersey from like their first year, back in 2005 that says Washington. So um yeah, the City Connect jerseys, like I said, it just depends on the team. Some of them are hideous. I think Florida had probably, excuse me, Miami probably had like one of the worst ones I saw last year. There was just too much going on. I thought I was going to have a seizure.
Speaking of too much going on, there was a lot going on in Augusta, Georgia this weekend, and
Yeah,
Roy McIlroy goes back to back. Scotty
yeah,
Scheffler tried to pull it out, put a fierce comeback on that back nine, just didn't have enough. Now, I will say Roy did give him a chance, all the chances in the world to get there,
yeah.
but
When you blow a
congratulations to
6-4
Rory.
lead. The thing about golf and what was funny about the Masters, um, when when Rory blew that lead on Saturday, and his driver just, I don't know, his driver just didn't come to the course with him. I mean, there were shots just going everywhere. And I saw a stat where he was like dead last or something with greens and regulation or fairways hit. It was just some ridiculous stat. And I'm thinking, this is like Greg Norman at the Masters in like what, 96? When he,
Mm,
when he blew that lead. And but I thought, okay, well, the big difference is he's got another round to shake it out. He was at one point Sunday, he was two strokes down, and then just found his putter, found his driver, and found his putter again. And really, I think, whatever got in his head in that third round, he finally shook it off, midway through when I guess, yeah, he was in the last group on Sunday. He shook it off and really just focused and played his kind of game. And kudos to him. I think it was Cameron Young, who was giving him chase too. And he just found a way to really pull it out and play the kind of game that play the kind of golf that we were used to maybe 10 years ago when he seemed to be the dominant player. I think he's found a second win of sorts with winning the Masters, going back to back. Now, becoming the fourth player, just the fourth player to do so. That when he was off the radar, he just wasn't playing championship golf, obviously, but he wasn't a bad golfer. He was, it wasn't like he had lost his game. He just had to find something different. And that's the thing that Scotty Scheffler has right now. Scotty Scheffler is just amazingly consistent.
hmm
You could almost say Tiger-esque with his game. And I think it's going to be kind of a back and forth between those two because they seem to find their best in the majors. Of course, you say, yeah, well, that's what you're supposed to do, but you use all those early season tournaments and in Hawaii and Florida to prepare for the Masters, and then the real grind starts. Next month, you've got the PGA Championship. And that's one of those tournaments, John, where the courses, the courses are longer. Some of the greens are much friendlier. For big hitters, you can really go out there and I'll say go for the pin, you can be very, very aggressive as opposed to Augusta National, which is a very careful course. And John, I'll tell you, I don't know how much you watched this weekend. I watched the first two rounds, but is I'm not a big golf watcher, but I love watching the Masters because John, that is one beautiful course. It's like, they talk about you're taking a walk, through through the woods or something. It's like, no, it's not like that. I mean, you are walking golf's cathedral, and it is just beautiful.
Man, I hope that's on my bucket list. I hope to be able to go there one day to visit Augusta. Absolutely beautiful golf course. They have a golf course here out in Maryland. It's called Renditions. Have you ever been to Renditions?
No, but I've heard about it.
They
Is that the
have
one?
different, they have
Is that
different,
Anne Arundel County?
yeah, it's right on the line. It's right across PG County. And they
Uh-huh.
have different, you know, they have the Masters hole at Renditions, and then they have the
Mhm.
PGA and so on and so forth. Really, really beautiful course as well, man. I think as I near the end of my work days, I'm not saying when that is, I'm going to have to find a new hobby. And I'm thinking about maybe trying to learn how to play golf, Gary.
John, let's see. How tall are you, my man? 6'6"?
Get out of here, man.
Okay, 6'4", 6'4".
Give me about 6'2". Yeah, 6'2".
Oh, okay, okay. Well, I can see you playing long when you take up the game. Don't your sons play?
JR plays. JR
Yeah.
played in school for the school team when he was in high school. So,
Hmm.
and very decent play. He still goes out and hits a few now, with his friends. So I am thinking about that, man, because I don't run up and down a court anymore. I stopped that many, many years ago. As you were saying earlier before we went on air, you don't even have to run to pop an Achilles. So I'm not trying to get out there and run and pop an Achilles. So
Hmm.
we'll see, man. We'll see. But I tell you what, man, the last sport we'll talk about today, and I won't say a lead in with Achilles. That's terrible lead in.
No,
But
because that was last
I,
spring in what you're about to talk about.
but I will say the NBA play-in games start tonight. The playoffs start later this week, I think on Friday. So
Hmm.
tonight, I think let's see who we got tonight, man. Let's see who we got tonight. Let's see what we got here.
Well, I know we have Orlando. I think you're one of them.
Tonight is Miami, Charlotte, Portland, and Phoenix. Tomorrow is Orlando and Phoenix and Philadelphia, Golden State, and the Clippers. Let me start with the last game, Gary, and I'm going to let you go from there, okay? Let me
Okay.
just put it out there. I've always liked the Golden State Warriors, but I don't see any way they continue. And really, they just need to end and just go home and start thinking about next year. I think the Clippers get them, and from there, I'll let you go from there.
Yeah, the Magic and the Sixers. I'm I'm going to take the Magic in that because with the Sixers, excuse me, you never know what you're going to get out of them. And yeah, they scare me a lot as if I was a betting man, it's like I would stay away from them. I think the Magic have, from what I've watched this season, that they've been good enough to be to not be in the play-in round, but they just always fall short. I think this is one for one game. I think they can get to that next level. Um, Out west, Trailblazers and the Suns. I like the Suns. That's all I'm going to say about that one. Heat and the Hornets. That's an interesting game there because the Hornets at number nine. They are a team that we thought, okay, they're going to be a lottery team again. And then I think they went on that midseason streak where they won like something like 8 or 9 in a row and really got hot. I think they won something like 12 out of 15 games and really, found a rhythm. And here they are. That's a team that I think. could really, get into the first round. I think they could get past the Heat, but if they do, they can really make some noise in that first round and show they're a team on the move after really being a team that seemed to be kind of forgotten, like our team in Washington.
You're not going to sucker me into that conversation, Gary Graves. I'm going to leave that one
No, no,
alone.
but yeah, yeah, um, yeah, because I always think if contraction was on the table with the NBA, that Washington would be one of those teams that's like, we love you, but see ya.
Stop, Gary. You're pulling me into something I don't want to go into. Stop. Stop.
Come on, Don Corleone. Come on back,
I,
baby. We need you. No, and
but I will say this. Miami, I'm not one to go against I'm not one to go against Eric Spoelstra. I think uh, I think Miami can do something there. Portland and Phoenix, I see as a tall. No, I don't. I see Phoenix winning that. Orlando couldn't beat Boston's fifth string on Sunday night when they needed to win, so they
yeah,
wouldn't have to play in the playing game.
yeah,
I'll take Philadelphia. And Golden State, the Clippers. Love Steph Curry, love Draymond Green, love Golden State. I just don't think they can do it. I think I go with Clippers.
okay, all right, fair enough,
So
fair enough. Yeah, I guess by this time next week we'll be talking about first round series that will have begun. But I'll ask you a question, John. Who do you like overall in both conferences?
in the East, I love the Celtics, so I'll stay with the Celtics. I think Detroit may be a year away. I think Detroit may get upset in the playoffs, to be honest with you. Um,
Wow.
um, I'm not
That's
saying
a
early.
strong.
I'm not saying early, but I don't
Hmm,
see them making the finals, Gary. Um, out west, that's dangerous, man. OKC, Denver, San Antonio,
yeah,
any of the
yeah,
three of them can do it. You know, I if I had to pick something right now, you told me I had to pick something, I would go with OKC. So OKC and Boston in championship. But we'll see how this plays out, man.
yeah. John, my feeling about playing games is kind of how I feel about, the first four in the NCAA. Yeah, it gets you going, but at some point you have to ask yourself, why don't you just expand the field and stop with these, I'll say, yeah, just these playing games that um, I don't know. Look, they're just up the road for me. I should like them,
I'll
but
go the opposite way, Gary. I'll say, why don't you stop these playing games and just go with the top six teams?
yeah, yeah, like the way that they used to do it.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I know you won't do that because you're going to lose revenue.
right,
So I
right,
know that's not going to happen. At most, I would say eight. But the playing, well, let me stop because you're going to get me being that old grumpy guy stepping on my lawn. So I don't want
yeah.
to do that. So
Yeah. Well, here's how I see the West. I agree with you on the Thunder. There are, they have not been a good matchup with San Antonio all year. That kind of scares me. I think San Antonio, of course, is much improved, but you have to learn how to win in the playoffs. And even, despite five championships, there are few players. I don't think they have any players on this roster that have won a championship, and they're going to have to learn how to play as a favorite, as a team to beat, as the number two seed. So I go with you right now with the with OKC in the East. But Boston is my safe pick. The teams that really, when I say scare me, the teams I feel like you can't underestimate are the Knicks and really the Pistons. I know it sounds strange for a number one seed, but the Pistons, yeah, they won 60 games. But again, I think this status on the top of the heap is new for them. And as you said, I think they won't get got in the first round. I think they can get past the first round. But when you get into that second round, that's when I think teams with more experience that have been there. I think that will tell a tale for them. But I do like OKC versus Boston, and I do like OKC repeating as champion.
Well, on that note, we're going to see what happens. Let the party begin. Gary, take us home.
Well, let's see. Right now, we're kind of John, in I won't say that in between time, but we've got NBA playoffs ramping up as we just discussed. Got Stanley Cup playoffs ramping up. And see what else do we have going on? Oh, John, we forgot to mention the WNBA draft last night. AZ Fudd went number one overall to Dallas. Joins her
Hmm.
former UConn teammate Paige Beckers there.
Hmm.
The Mystics drafted Lauren Betts.
Hmm.
That's a colossal pick, I think, for them. I think they had three picks in the first round. I think they took two UCLA players. They really got big in a hurry, and I
Hmm.
hope that really helps them. But again, we've got WNBA coming up soon with training camp and preseason games. And John, in another week, we're going to be talking about the Kentucky Derby and who's the favorite in that. I'll have my little tout sheets ready for when we're back on the air, but there's plenty to talk about. That's a little sample right there. And we'll be talking about it. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. Um, there are plenty of links that we can send to you. So come on back and see us.
Hey, another great week in sports, man. I tell you. Hey, this week, well, before I say that, let me just say congratulations to AZ Fudd being the number one overall pick for the WNBA. DC's own former player for St. John's College High School here in Washington, D.C. So congratulations to AZ. Class act and a very, very, very good ball player. But watch some hockey, watch some NBA, watch some baseball, watch some soccer, Premier League. But above all else, just watch some sports. Come back and see us. Take care.